Safety is multidimensional. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what I mean by that and why I feel it is so important for us to understand this in the times that we're living in. So, safety is something that we all conceive of in a multitude of ways, right? So, we can look at the highest level of feeling safety or unsafety, not safe, because of the actions of governments and at a national level, right? Like, are we safe? Are we secure? Can think about that in the local community level. Is the neighborhood that I live in safe? Is it secure? Can think about that on the family level. Is the family system that I'm in, or the people that are in my immediate community on the day-to-day, are they safe? Do I feel safe with them? And then on a individual level, a relationship with one other person, a spouse, a friend, a parent, a coworker, do I feel safe with them? Do I experience safety with them? And then we have an experience of safety with ourselves. Do I feel safe right here in my body in this moment? So I'm going to begin us right here with the body, because a lot of times when people think about and speak about safety, it is spoken about with regard to the external circumstances and whether we can feel safe within the circumstances of our lives or not. And I just invite anyone for whom this will make a difference to begin to really be in connection with, how do I feel safe, create safety in my own body, no matter what is happening out there with people in my life, with relationships that I am showing up in every day, at a societal level, at a national level, at a global level, right? Bringing it back to the body, bringing our attention and awareness into the body. One of the reasons this is so important is because creating a sense of safety, learning what that feels like for us, and learning what we can do to create a sense of safety in the body, helps us anchor ourselves in our bodies when we are in a moment where we are in the presence of either perceived or actual threat, right? You may already be able to see that there is a way that we can enter into a state of feeling unsafe based on the perception that we're not safe, or the actual experience of our bodies being in danger, or something about us being under threat. So when I invite people to create safety in the body, what I invite us to begin with is actually sensing the body. Actually finding your feet Actually feeling the earth beneath you, the ground beneath you. Feeling your spine. Feeling your breath. Noticing your breath. Feeling your own heart. Bringing radical awareness to what is happening in my body right now. Because the first step to creating a sense of safety in the body is noticing what is true in my body right now. The act of bringing our attention and awareness and attunement into the body has signals to the body, I'm with you. I'm here. We're here. So, something else that I'll share that has been transformative for me in understanding the importance of the body and the attunement to right here, right now, how I feel, is the idea that my territory begins right here. What I can see, smell, taste, touch, what is in my immediate vicinity, and what is in any individual's immediate vicinity is our own body. So this idea of territory was really introduced to me by two women, Heather Bridge and Ginger Kern. And I just felt so grateful to have this framing. Because when we start to get very focused on the external and things that are very far out of our control, right? Things happening on a global level, on a national level, to recognize that I have this invitation to bring my focus back to my territory, to what I have immediate dominion over. Whew. This alone is such a powerful practice. So, inviting you to begin to be in touch with your territory, the territory of your body. Okay? And as a person begins to notice the sensations in the body and practice that attunement, what I have discovered in my own lived experience and witnessing this in other people is safety begins to be and feel more accessible because we practice anywhere we are in life being present in our body, being attuned to right here, right now. Beyond that, once we create that connection with the body, asking ourselves, well, what can I do to have my body feel good, to have my body feel healthy, rested, to move my body enough that I have a sense of safety that is a result of me tending to myself, tending to my body, caring for this vessel. That caring for our vessel creates an atmosphere of safety that we then get to carry and return to anywhere we are, any information we're exposed to, right? So the body, beginning with the body, and then tending to the habits, the ways that we tend to and care for our body, which then an extension of that is our immediate surroundings, our space, our home. Is my home, does my home feel safe for me? Does it feel like a place that I can recharge, that I can rest, that I can feel inspired, that I can be, whether in solitude or with other people, with community? Does my home feel like a sanctuary, right? And invitation to not be hard on yourself if it doesn't feel that way, if there's, some disarray, or it's unorganized, or maybe it's not quite to your liking, but invitation to begin to consider, how might I make my home, the sort of next level of our territory, feel safe, feel like a sanctuary, right? Security as well, of course. Feeling secure in one's home and where one lives, which we, depending on where we are, people experience different levels of a sense of safety, right? But regardless of the neighborhood or city or town or state or country one lives in, tending again to the immediate surroundings of the home that's the next step. It is what we have a say in, an immediate say in. The body, tending to the body and our well-being right here, and then our home, right? So our most immediate relationships then come next. Now, I have lived enough life to have experienced many different relationship dynamics. And so there have been relationships that I have had an experience of feeling safe in. And there have been relationships where I feel some degree of unsafety. And what I've noticed is the more that I have tended to safety in my own body, the more I'm actually able to determine which relationships become an extension of that safety that I already feel with myself because I'm caring for myself. And so I seek relationships that resonate with that care that I'm already creating for and with myself. So what happens when people source their safety entirely in other people is it becomes what I have observed in myself and in others is that it becomes more difficult to discern who and what is safe and not. And then even the process of trying to figure that out, trying to discern that, can be anxiety inducing, right? If I'm always looking outside of myself, who's safe and who's not, I'm not first grounding in feeling safe in my own body, that can become what I've witnessed is it can bring people into this loop where they're constantly sourcing for safety out here and living in a cycle of fear, right? That on a fundamental level, we have no control. We have no control over how other people are, how other people act, what other people choose to say, right? What other people choose to do. We don't have control over that. And that can feel really scary to someone who has sourced their safety, their sense of safety, in how other people are. And being that we are born into this world, tiny little babies, and we do actually initially source our entire sense of safety in other people, it is understandable to me that people can continue to be conditioned in that way in their adulthood, and that we continue to resort to sourcing safety externally because we are social beings, right? We are externally oriented to a large degree. This is part of the reason that I invite us to be intentional about creating a stronger sense of internal orientation and anchoring right here. So, if safety in the body begins with us noticing sensation and tending to ourselves to create a sense of safety, what does safety in relationships look like? What is that? So, paying attention to the body and the body's signals is important, yes. But part of what creates safety in relationships is our communication. It is how we communicate. It is how we listen and how we speak with one another. Part of creating safety in relationships is taking supreme responsibility for how we communicate. So, an example of this is, imagine you meet a new friend, right? And you really like this person, you have a lot in common, and you're excited to get to know each other, right? So, as you and this person spend time together, what are you doing? You are building a sense of trust, right? Shared common interests, common values, common vision. Through our time together, through our communication with one another, we are building a sense of trust, right? And trust is built in a variety of ways, but one of those ways is, creating agreements, right? We're going to spend time together and keeping agreements, right? Sometimes unspoken agreements, like we call each other when when we want to hang out, or when one of us is going through a hard time and we need connection, right? So the agreements that we are willing to make and keep create trust. Trust is created through being good to one another, like being a good friend, being a gracious friend, a fun friend, providing value in a relationship and providing consistent value, right? Not in this transactional way, of course, right? But like the beauty of bringing value to other people and them bringing value to you in your life. First of all, so beautiful. And yes, like tend to the bonds of friendship. And this on the most basic level builds our experience of trust of other human beings. Okay. So it is in these bonds with friends, with spouses, with partners, with family, that we create safety. We create a sense of safety through that sense of trust. So beyond the experiences and relationships that we have with individuals and family and friends and like our immediate community, right? We have the sort of wider community, the people that we pass by on the street, the people that we, see every once in a while, right? If and as we have a strong sense of trust with the people in our most immediate surroundings, right? And we feel a sense of safety there. And that is lives alongside a sense of safety in our bodies, connection to, attunement to, awareness of our bodies, right? You beginning to see where I'm going with this? That the ripple effect that this has. If and as we have safety in family systems, in friend circles, in communities, right, then we go out in the world and we experience a greater sense of safety. Just walking around, being out in the world. Part of the reason we can see so clearly on this wild thing called the internet that there are some people living, essentially in the same places as other people. And some of them are really, really suffering, and some of them are really thriving, right? It's like, yes, there are external factors, but what I have seen is people even in the, like, in similar sort of lots in life can have such vastly different experiences because of the atmosphere of the life that they are tending, the relationships that they are tending, the body that they are tending. When we become responsible for that, for our most immediate surroundings and our creating a sense of safety in a way that we have a say in an immediate say in, the circumstances of two people's lives can be virtually the same, but the orientation that they have toward themselves and toward their most immediate relationships can be so different that it has them live one in a world that feels unsafe and one in a world that feels safe, feels good, right? So let's look at this another layer out and think about the sort of sense of national safety, like state safety, right? So this is where having a sense of safety here in the body makes such a difference for those who witness, are living in, are impacted by, are reacting to things that are happening in these higher levels of society, right? Creating safety here has it so that as these things that can feel really scary happen on a national level, we have developed an ability to stay anchored here and with our most immediate people. And I think this is just so important in these times, because my hope for us is that as enough people recognize the importance of safety, the importance of trust, and as enough people create that with themselves and their own body, their own relationships, families, friends, communities, networks, like the entire web experiences a greater sense of safety. We then get to be that safe space, that sanctuary space for people around us. If we have anchored that in as individuals to the best of our ability, we get to extend that even to people we don't know. If we're in a public space and something happens, or if we go to some kind of public event, there's a lot of people around, and maybe it is a politically charged event, right? Being able to offer our safety, the safety that we've cultivated right here. Such a gift. I invite people to live in such a way that one does not demand safety from other people. To be clear, standing for things that enable people to feel safe, yes. Having convictions, right? Having something that one stands for in the realm of people feeling safe at a societal level, at a cultural level, absolutely. And to notice the reliance on that and be willing, again, to bring it back right here. really, people can do extraordinary things in all kinds of circumstances. And as we create that sense of safety in ourselves, in our communities, in our world, the creativity and innovation and beauty and flourishing that becomes possible is magnificent. Let us not wait for that to create, right? To be the creators that we are. Let us not wait, right? This is part of the tending is creating, keeping your spark alive, finding and pursuing what you feel enthusiastic about, doing things that feel good for you and your communities, right? This is part of the creation of a safer world. That's part of it. It's necessary. All of these things are an affront to the culture of fear. So, my prayer for us is to, if we so choose, be a sanctuary. Have your presence for yourself, for the people in your life, in your immediate surroundings, and by extension, anyone who comes into your field. Invitation to be a sanctuary. Even just as an experiment, even just to see what happens as a result. So what I warmly invite you to consider is that as we create a sense of safety in our own territory, in that which we have a say in, an immediate say in our lives, that will also have us be in greater clarity and sobriety around how to appropriately impact addressing safety at the higher levels, at the societal level, at the national level. So, friends, invitation to begin to be in inquiry about, to be in wonder about safety and the way that we experience it on all these different levels, and what happens as we tend to it on the most immediate level. Because a person who feels rooted and anchored and safe in their body out in the world in any circumstance, or who has a moment of reactivity in some disturbing circumstance but anchors back into their body because they've practiced, that person is going to have a different experience of life. That person is going to have a different experience of distressing or potentially distressing circumstances. And I want this for us. I want for people to have that ability. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being willing to take this on if you do. I would love to hear if you had any reflections or questions, or if you go forth in your life and begin to think about and experience safety in the ways that I've shared. What comes up for you? And what is it like? Thank you for listening. Sending you so much love.